It didn't cross Mike's mind that he was looking at a Sasquatch until he realized that whatever it was between 8 and 9 feet tall. This is Paranormal Christian. Let's tell stories. One of my dearest friends, a guy named Mike Hicks, and because many of you watching are friends of mine, many of you know Mike as well. And several years ago, he did one of the most amazing things. He had a couple of these experiences. He hitchhiked across the United States, and then at another time, he backpacked with a friend across the state of Alaska, which I think is the coolest thing in the world. Mike was never a believer in Sasquatch creatures, in Bigfoot. He never gave it a whole lot of thought. When he and his friend began to backpack across Alaska, they would set up camp wherever they were, wherever they had come to on that particular day. And he had a lot of amazing stories, just of great things that happened during that time that they were backpacking. But one particular evening, they had stopped in a heavily wooded area, and they were setting up camp for the night. It was not dark out yet, but it was not super bright either. The sun was just beginning to set, and they felt like it was a good time to stop. And so Mike had told his friend that he was going to go a few yards away to relieve himself. He had to pee before he came back and got camp all set up. And so Mike went, I don't know if it was, 100 yards. I don't know how far away it was. Maybe I should have checked with him before I told the story. And so he goes over and he's standing by some trees and some bushes, and he is relieving himself. And as he is, what's ahead of him, several yards away, maybe 50 yards away, there are some shrubberies. There are some bushes. There's some little trees or whatever that are probably, 4 foot tall, 4 to 5-ish foot tall. And as he's looking, he gets a very strange feeling like somebody's looking back at him. Sometimes you can just feel it when somebody's watching you. And then he realizes that he's actually looking at that which is looking back at him. Just above the shrubberies or the little trees, the bushes, whatever they were, there is a face. But it's kind of a strange looking face. He can see the eyes of this thing with its head just above the line of that growth that's right there. And there is this thing that's looking back at him. It kind of walks, it kind of moves across, it's looking at him, and then it begins to go down as Mike is finishing, relieving himself, and he's trying to figure out, it didn't look human. He still wasn't thinking about Bigfoot. He just didn't know what was looking back at him. To him, it didn't really seem like a bear, but just kind of a brownish face, kind of a dark face, kind of a furry face. He's trying to make this out. And so as quickly as he can, he gets himself all fixed up and he takes off because the thing's not walked away very fast. It just kind of crouched down behind, and he knows he can run over and figure out what it is, catch a glimpse, or he'll see it running away, something like this. And so he makes his way over as quickly as he can, and when he steps around the other side of these little trees, they are on the edge of a small ridge that has a drop of several feet. And now he realizes that whatever was looking at him over the top of these little trees was not standing on the same level ground that the trees were coming out of. No, it was standing on the ground at the base of that ridge, meaning that whatever was looking at him was standing at least 8 or 9 feet upright and clearing those bushes. He began to look everywhere that he could, and that thing had gotten away very quickly without a trace, or else was hiding somewhere. He couldn't figure it out. He made his way back to camp and shared with his friend. On the remainder of their trip, they tried to talk to people that they encountered, and many of the people that they encountered were native people that had lived there. Their families had lived there, I guess, as long as history. That's where they had lived. And the people that they talked to To them, it was very, very matter of fact. Sasquatch. To them, it was no second guess. Yes, our family knows Sasquatch. I don't mean that they sat down and had dinner and played cards with this thing, which was a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch, but simply they were offended at all of the questioning. To them, it was an insult. Some of the things that people said about Sasquatch or Bigfoot, to them, it was as common as anything there. And our family has been familiar with these creatures and has seen these creatures. There have been experiences and interactions with these creatures as long as time itself. There was a great respect for these creatures. To them, it was not a second guess. And Mike, after talking to them and after his own experience and trying to explain it away every way that he could, says that he is absolutely a believer. He believes the account of the people that live there, and he believes his own account. You know, this is one of my very, very favorite things to discuss, is encounters with Bigfoot. I fell in love with the Bigfoot stories when I was in about the second or third grade, and I had a friend at that time that felt the same, and we would watch videos and documentaries. We even went Bigfoot hunting one night in the woods behind his house, because he told me Bigfoot lived there, and you could catch him if you'd bait him with a pack of corn nuts from the local gas station. We went and bought some corn nuts, and we put it inside of the Bigfoot nest that we found in the woods. Much more likely, it was something that had been built by some beavers, but to us it looked like a Bigfoot nest. And we sprinkled some corn nuts, and we camped in his backyard, and that night we went out to catch Bigfoot that my friend said he knew lived in the woods behind his house. We didn't catch Bigfoot, and I don't think that a Bigfoot lived there in his little patch of woods in St. Francis County, Missouri. But anyway, I love these kinds of stories. Many of you have heard my Birdman story that I tell, or the story of Catman. I love to hear the stories of these cryptozoological creatures. And I think a lot of people have mistaken things that they thought that they saw, but I think other people have had some real legitimate experiences with things that they cannot figure out. And I want to hear your story. First of all, do you believe in Bigfoot? Do you believe that there is a creature that exists that is called Sasquatch, or the Yeti, or the abominable snowman, or the skunk ape from the Everglades, Momo the monster, which a lot of people call the Bigfoot sightings in Missouri? Do you believe in Mothman? Do you believe in a Catman, in a Pigman, in a Birdman? There are all these stories from all over the earth, and I want to hear yours. I'm going to tell a lot more. Would you follow me here at Paranormal Christian, whatever platform you're watching on? Would you visit paranormalchristian.com, and would you click on the contact page? Fill out the form. Please give me permission to share your story. I can do that with your name or without your name. I want to respect that, but I want to share your story with everybody I can. So keep those stories coming and keep them PC.